Hi everyone, how's it going? Come on, camera, focus. Oh, probably, no, I got my mic on. Why am I not hearing anything? Oh my God, stop it. Testing. Why am I, oh, wait, maybe this is muted. That's why. That's why. It's muted on my end. Okay, okay, okay. Oh boy. Just give me a second here. Well, it's been a fun, crazy few weeks, everyone. Apologies if this is a little more rinky-dink than usual, but I've had a rough couple of weeks here with stuff. If you can't tell from my voice, I'm getting over a cold. I think I'm on the upswing, though, however. Yeah, is my chat thing not showing up? I guess it is. It's not showing. Okay. Sorry. Get out of there. Get back. Okay. Anyway. Just checking something out here. Okay. Everything's working. Okay. So it's been, like I said, it's been a few weeks since I've done this exactly, because last weekend I was in Kalamazoo, and I'll touch on that in a minute. And the weekend before that, I was helping Steph in Midland for a show. And in the interim, I've picked up a nasty cold this week. I actually went to urgent care finally, and they put me on steroids and antibiotics for bronchitis and an ear infection. So that's a lot of fun. So I've been dealing with that. I got sick initially back in early May, right before East Lansing Art Festival. Like had a fever over 100, all that kind of fun stuff. And thought I kicked it, but then, excuse me, sorry, I had a lingering cough for a while, and then after Kalamazoo last weekend, it just came back like with a vengeance. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I could barely talk, and it was a very forceful, angry cough. And so like I said, I went to urgent care on Tuesday, and they gave me steroids and antibiotics. So I've been doing that all week. So I still sound a little rough, but I am feeling better. And zoom down just a little bit here. I am feeling better, and just trying to make do with stuff. It's been a hectic couple of weeks just between art festivals back to back, and getting sick and day job stuff, and just being not at 100% kind of hurts a lot of that when I'm trying to prepare for the next thing. So, but speaking of preparing, I actually am prepared tonight. I made a quick little, I'm going to try and have somewhat regular segments. So first on my show notes here are announcements. So coming up, my next show is Pride in Old Town. on 6/28, June 28th is my next event in Lansing's Old Town. This is my first time selling at Pride. I helped out Steph there last year. Had a good time. We're sharing a tent this year, so it's a twofer. If you just come to Pride, you get to see both of us, and we're selling both of our stuff. So yeah, and that is our last show for June. And then July, she's doing the Ann Arbor Art Festival. I'm just helping with that because it's mostly during the week, and I just don't have the time I can take off from work to commit to that. But I am doing Scrap Fest after that the following weekend in Old Town. So yeah, I'll have more on that coming up. So yeah, so that's a big announcement. So Pride is my next event where I will be selling stuff. I'm excited to do that. That is just a one-day show. That is June 28th only. And I'm going to try to go the full at least hour tonight, but if I start having a coughing fit too often for my liking, I will probably have to bow out, so we'll see how it goes. But like I said, it's been rough road past couple weeks, but I think mostly I feel okay. It's just I sound bad and I have this nagging cough, but I'm done with antibiotics starting, I think tomorrow is my last day. So, and I think I had my last dose of steroids today, so that's, fun. The big news is I do have my own Discord channel now. If you want to join the Discord community and hang out, there's a link for it in the chat. I'll type that in here real quick. So just go there and you can join the Discord community. It's small but mighty at the moment. We're just, I literally finished it last week and then got blindsided by this cold, so I didn't really have the time to promote it as I would have liked to. Yeah. So if you don't want to do the link, you can go to my Twitch channel, and on the About section, there's a panel that has a link to it. And I'll be having links to it other places as well. So please join the community, check it out, keep it fun, keep it whimsy, all that good stuff. So that's the other big thing. I'm new to running a Discord, so if things are not working the way they should, please tell me, because I am learning this as I go. I've been a user of Discord in other capacities and like other people's servers in the past. This is my first time running one, so I'm just figuring it out as I go. And been watching a lot of videos on how to set up bots and stuff and other things and community settings and all that. So hopefully I'm doing it all right, but if not, please let me know, because I'm just figuring it out a little bit at a time. But I enjoy the niche-ness of it that we can do with it, and also I enjoy being able to notify community members of stuff and not worrying about it getting lost in some giant algorithm. So that is always good. So if you're looking for a little more closer knit thing to get info about live streams, like it automatically posts when I go live here, it automatically posts when I post stuff to YouTube, which is nice. I watched some videos on how to set all that up, which was great. So yeah, so that's where we're at that. Hopefully this is the last week I have to deal with this stupid cold, and because it is definitely hindering a lot of, oh man, my camera, come on. Stick with it. Come on, camera, you can hang in there. I did not have enough time to play around with more camera stuff tonight, before starting, which I had wanted to do, but again, cold's just been kicking my butt all week, and I would have like, I'm sure part of it was medication too. I would just have bouts of, I'd feel up to do stuff, and then a few minutes later I would just have to lay down and all that. So that's, you know, being on steroids and antibiotics for you. But hopefully I'll be over all this real soon. Sound mostly back to normal. Not coughing as much or at all. Can't wait. So some community stuff going on. Let's see if I can find it here. Local artist who goes by the name of Ultra Mega. That's Mega, M-E-G-A. Let's see here if I can find there. Not to be confused with the Image Comics thing. Let's see, where are you? I probably should have... damn it. I can't spell. Anywho, to get to the point, Ultra Mega, aka the artist known as Soup, who does a lot of cool print stuff here in Lansing. They have a charity drive going on now to build a community print shop with a risograph printer. I'm gonna get a link to it eventually and post it in the chat. I recommend checking it out. It's a cool thing. It'd be great to have a community print shop. I donated to it myself, and yeah, so they're doing pretty good. Their overall goal with the printer and all the ink stuff is like 5,000, and they were almost at 2,000, I think, when I checked earlier today. Let's see here. Well, I might have a... Oh boy, what the hell is that? What? Oh, thank you, Goose and Jonesy, for the... Okay, that's in the chat. Thank you, Goose and Jonesy. I didn't see... I should have been paying attention to the chat, and I would have saw. But yeah, Ultra Mega Goods on Instagram. Check them out. They also put together Licks, the Lansing Independent Comics zine show that happened here earlier in the spring. I went to and checked out, which is where I got this cool book. I got that at Licks, and that was a great little event. It was well attended from what I saw, and I hope they keep doing it. So go check that out. Ultra Mega Goods on Instagram, and like I said, Soup, Jimmy, you know, they want to bring a Rezo thing to a print shop, community print shop here to Lansing. So go check it out. Also, speaking of them, they are also the current artist of the month at Deer Alley Stationery and Arts or Writing Goods here in downtown Lansing. I actually got their official artist sticker here. That's what they did for them. You might remember or not. This is the sticker I did when I was the Deer Alley official artist a couple months ago. So yeah, so go check it out. So some good things going on there. As far as other community stuff, oh yeah, I did get something for this. So this is a neat thing. This is called Lansing Shaped. It's a citywide mural project put on by Muralmatics. So muralmatics.com. Go check that out. It's a citywide mural project. There's murals all over the town, and from what I understand, you go to these locations and there's a mural and a QR code, and you scan the QR code and it tells you about the mural. And yeah, so it's pretty neat. I've been seeing them post about it on social media. Go check that out. And also, if you're at DR Alley, you can get free stickers and this here too. So they have all that there as well. Other community things going on. I am going to try to attend life drawing classes at Reach Art Studio here in Lansing. They are on Wednesdays. It's kind of a drop-in thing. I'm hoping I should be making this Wednesday. My day job schedule doesn't always allow for me that, but I think this week will be fine. So I'm looking forward to that. They're a great community source of art stuff and art classes. Mainly, I would say they're mainly targeted more towards kids, but they do have adult stuff, this live drawing class being one of them. So yeah, go check that out. So that's it for like community stuff going on. I figure it doesn't hurt to help spread some news about some art stuff in the community. This is by no means end all be all of news. This is stuff I happen to remember off the top of my head today when I was writing out my notes. I'll try to have even more in the future. So let's do some drawing here. Just to warm up real quick. Maybe just do a quick found cartoon or two. Now, where's my... Ooh, I haven't used this pen in a while. It's more of a brush than a pen. Let's just warm up, get those arms moving, get those hands moving. Sorry for the coughing. Doing my best. This is, I don't remember where I got this. This might have been like a art snacks thing I got years ago where they just would send me random things every month. But this is pretty neat. It's got, they'll do some big lines with it. That's cool. So we'll just do some quick warm-up stuff and then move on to some other drawing. Oh, I wanted to recap about Kalamazoo. That was what I forgot. So I'll do that while I'm drawing here. So Kalamazoo, the Kalamazoo Institute of Arts Fair was last weekend. That was my first time doing that. Same for Steph. It was a Friday, Saturday show. It was Friday 3 to 8 p.m., Saturday 9 to 5 p.m. Now, in my experience with both art festivals and Comic-Con stuff, the shorter Friday, like preview night things tend not to really be worth the hassle. And this, again, proved to be the case. It was... I only had a couple sales all Friday night, and not very big ones to begin, either. Sales is sales, so it's better. One is better than zero, but just like I said, in my experience, the shows that try to like shoehorn in a short, thing on a Friday night, it's just usually the attendance isn't great and the sales are not great, and that's really been my experience. I mean, the only exception I so far could probably think of is Scrap Fest, maybe. I'd have to go back and look at my numbers on the Saturdays versus the Fridays there, but I just know from other ones, like, it's usually not worth it. And it was a long day because we had to we had to load in at 10 a.m. and then set up. So we're basically going nonstop from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. really, because we had to set up, had to unload, set up, and then sell for 5 hours. But I mean, I will say it was a very well run show. Great staff, great volunteers, great amenities for artists. Like, all of that was fine, and above and beyond actually compared to other shows. But did I do well? Not really. I did basically like a third of what I did at East Lansing. So I didn't lose money, but I kind of just, barely covered my cost plus a little bit. So, I don't put the artists too at fault for that. That's not on them. I think it's just, the way things are, and every show is different. And the thing with me doing East Lansing Art Festival is I've been doing that for years, so I have a built-in audience there. It's home court advantage. I got friends and family in town, which always helps. This was my first time doing Kalamazoo, so no one's going there necessarily looking for me. And I do know from some shows, like, the more you do them, you have returns, the more you do them, I guess. That's what I'm saying. Because people, they come to expect you to be there. And, like, I know from my own experience when I go to art festivals and Comic Cons and stuff, I there are certain people I always look for if I know they've been there in the past. So that's one possibility. Yeah, but like I said, nothing at all against those putting on the show. Like, they did everything right. The amenities were great. They had a great at communications, which is a big thing for me, like, leading up to the event. They were all on top of everything for that. Great, like, artist snack booth, which is always good. They had a free breakfast for us on Saturday, which was great, at the Art Institute itself. So yeah, like I said, did I do as well as I'd hoped? Nope. Definitely did not. But I did make a little bit of a profit, so that's good. It could have been way worse. So as long as I'm not losing money, that's good. But on the good side of things, Steph actually won an award. She won best in her category. So she got a nice fancy ribbon, and she essentially got next year's booth fee reimbursed if she wants to, although I think they're like sending her a check now, which would probably, if anything, offset the cost of this year's booth. So whatever. But, you know, congrats to her. And yeah, my only real like major kind of complaint thing was we were by the band shell area and the music was on both nights really loud, and to the point where it made it difficult for me to talk to customers and having to yell and all that stuff, like having to yell over music, which I didn't like. But aside from that, you know, they did everything right. So so we'll leave it at that. Pride, like I said, is my next show here in Lansing. That is a one-day show, which is nice. It's a Saturday only, so there's no like setup day and then, you know, 2 days of show and then tear down. It's just, it is what it is. So huzzah for that. Now, if we'll do that show again next year, I can't speak for Steph at the moment. She's automatically in if she wants to do it next year. I might not be quick to do it next year. Maybe I might be, you know, more apt to try Midland, like Steph did last month, which I just helped out at. I didn't actually do. So we'll see. I tend to be a little more picky about some of the shows I do, but we'll see. Okay. And especially this year where I'm coming back from taking a year off, I kind of just want to sort of ease back into stuff, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm just doing some found cartoons to warm up here using my trusty Faber-Castell Polychromos Color pencils. They're very good, by the way. If you need good colored pencils, these are the ones to get. I am not a fan of Prismacolor colored pencils. No, nothing personal, just I have not had good luck with them. I will say something I do always pay attention to and remember is how, as artists, as a paying artist to attend an event, I am, treated. And that extends to like on the day of, prior to that, like with communications and stuff, about, load in and that sort of things leading up to the event. So that is something I always pay close attention to and remember. So, like I said, Kalamazoo did all that stuff right. So I don't put any blame on the organizers for my having a not so great show. They did everything right. They ran a great event. It was well organized, great volunteers, great amenities, great communication. So yeah. So that is something I always, like I said, keep in the back of my head when I'm deciding to do a show again. There's lots of factors, but if I'm at a show and I am like, I wouldn't say I've ever been overtly treated poorly, but there's been times where stuff could have been handled better, and you know, I remember that and pay attention to that, and then, you know, keep that in the back of my head when I'm deciding if I want to do it again. Like X show, you know, the load-in situation, they had absolutely no organization or plan. Like, that is a big red flag for me when deciding to do it in the future. Like, if their load in, load out situation is total chaos, yeah, that's a big mark against them for me doing it again. And, you know, like I said, but if if I had a bad show, but the staff is really great and they do a lot of great stuff, you know, and even if I didn't have a great show the previous time, I'm more apt to do that than probably a show where I did better, but the management of it was terrible. It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of one of those things. You have to make those calls with some of those events. Like, although I don't really think I've had an event I've done that was run terribly that I did amazing at. So, you know, those things tend not to go together, but there are exceptions. I mean, when you're doing events, that's the stuff you got to balance with the good and the bad as you're deciding, you know, what you want to do. Whoops. Where is my book? Huh. I misplaced my drawing prompt book. Where'd you go? Where are you? Huh, there you are. Under a pile of bills. Ha ha. Okay. Where are we at here? 8:30. Okay, we're doing good. My voice is holding out. All right. We'll keep going for a bit. I don't want to have a cough drop in my mouth while I'm doing this because that doesn't make for good audio. Whew. Catching my breath here. Bowl of candy. Where is my... Enjoying watching the delay on my... I have my Surface off camera here with my stream manager up and just enjoying watching the delay on that. So here's a fun thing. Little pencil protector thing. I think I got these from Jet Pens. I got these at Jet Pens or Odd-Nod. I can't remember. But the idea is if, like, you know, you have your pencil and you have, like, you don't want the point to break. You know, there you go. It protects it. Not a necessary thing, but handy. I know, and I apologize for not being around. You know, I know it's Father's Day, and I'm sorry for not being around a lot lately, and you know, anyway, just kidding. But yeah, I realized starting to trying to stick to a regular live streaming schedule while at the start of and being in the middle of art festival season probably wasn't a great idea, but it is what it is, and we're just gonna we're just gonna go for it and see where it gets us. You know, I've only been doing this for a little over a month now, and we're still in the early days of all this, and I'm at least trying. So thank you, Goose and Jonesy. You're good boys. Okay. I think this past weekend in Ann Arbor was the A2 CAF, A2 CAF or whatever, the Ann Arbor Comic Arts Festival or whatever it was. I had some friends who were there. That would have been nice to go check out, but I think if I had been at like 90% or better yesterday, I might have swung down to check it out. But I was really not in any shape to drive an hour, walk around, talk to people, and then drive back. So that would have been not good for anyone involved. So I just stayed home on the couch, which I can show you that. How did I do this before? Media, video. There we go. So yeah, that was me yesterday. That's Jasper at the top with the gray and the white. That's Nigel in the middle. The orange one, that's Rags at the end. They're all keeping an eye on me and made sure sorry for shaking the camera, making sure that I just rested and worked on myself and got better. So yeah. We're going multimedia now, damn it. What else can I plug in here? Speaking of resting, I'll bring this up. So there's a, whoops, let's not cover up my chat here. Oh boy, oh boy. There we go. So there's another streamer I follow, Clover. I believe their handle is Moo Clover on various platforms, including here, whatever. But they do a great job of making videos about, you know, how to help with live streams, that sort of thing. And I was watching the recent one about how to, you know, help with productivity and whatnot. And it was, whoops, don't zoom my camera in. This one specifically was on scheduling stuff, like basically making time for your creative stuff and for resting and for your day-to-day life stuff instead of finding time, which I'm a big believer in, because if you make time, you can do whatever you want. If you try to find time, you'll never find time to do stuff. Stuff always comes up. So I'm taking this to heart, and this week I'm going to try and emulate their process of trying to schedule out their days. I know this is something Steph does with a lot of success on her own. So, but what Clover does is they make like a Google sheet of the day and block out hours for stuff, and you know, specifically schedule time for, this is my morning routine, this is when I'm at work, this is my chores, this is dinner, this is my creative free time, whatever, that sort of stuff. But one thing I wanted to bring up was this slide in particular, and they said, you know, that rest is a part of productivity, and I absolutely agree with that. You have to like take time for yourself and recharge. And the big one here is the one in the middle, you know, rest ain't a reward. Like, you do not have to earn rest. You do not have to prove that you need rest by doing X, Y, Z things. So that's, you know, remember that. Like, everyone's all about the hustle culture, but, you know, hustle culture will get you sick, which I'm kind of dealing with that myself. That's part of it right now, is I've just been doing too much lately, and yeah, doing too much, but also having other stuff I want to do but can't do it because I'm doing too much other things and not you know, planning stuff out the way I should. As someone who has had a lot of success with you know, bullet journaling in my own way. I'm not like, I know there's lots of ways to do it. I kind of do a very bare bones version of it, but but just writing stuff down for me helps a lot. And, you know, writing down a weekly, like, here's stuff I need to do for the week, and do I always do everything on my list? No, but it's at least there in my mind. I'm not forgetting about it, and I know I have to do it. And, you know, it's there's a proverb that goes, the faintest ink is better than the sharpest memory, and which I try to remind myself of, meaning write stuff down, because you will forget stuff, you know, despite your best intentions, you will forget stuff. Although, as a friend of mine once told me, his mom told him, never write something down you don't want to see in the front page of the newspaper. So there is that. But as someone who enjoys journaling and diary stuff or whatever, that's what are you gonna do? Okay, where are we going here? This candy bowl. So this is a very special Father's Day edition of me sharing random life advice, I guess. Rest ain't a reward. Remember that. And, you know, I'm guilty of not believing that myself. So it's a good thing to remember. Like, you got, especially for creative stuff, like, you got to take breaks. You got to give yourself time to unwind. You got to give yourself time to, like, do stuff that isn't for the sake of, you know, making content, you know, like, have hobbies that you don't have to post about online, that you just do or whatever. I mean, they don't have to be like R-rated hobbies, but if they are, you know, more power to you. But I'm just saying, like, you can collect stamps. Stamp collection, haha. Yes, I know. Anyway, that's for the Simpsons fans out there. But yeah, you don't have to share everything with the world. You can keep some things to yourself as a hobby, and that's, you know, that's important. All right, let's come up with some funny candy names. How about gimme candy? That's not how I sound. Or is it? Hi, everyone. I'm who you came to see. For real. Hi, Goose and Jonesy. Looking good. You lost weight? Don't worry, I won't eat you. Today. Thanks for stopping by, Roy. It's good to see you. Speaking of Roy, so I don't know if this will work. No, I'm not going to do that. Do this. So if you haven't been keeping up or whatever, when I was in Midland, I met someone who was selling puppets, and so I decided to pick up Roy here and to utilize in live streams and that sort of things. But Again, because of the sickness, I haven't been able to spend as much time practicing or figuring out what exactly I want to do. But we'll get there. So yeah, so I got this puppet at the Midland Art Fair by Backwards Bear Designs. I was immediately amused by her nondescript Muppety stuff and decided to get one. And while I was thinking about it, and then when I came back later, she'd already sold 7 of them, so I just grabbed this little guy, and yeah, and I picked up a little arm rod thing online, so I'm still learning all the ins and outs of this, and also like what I want to do for his voice and whatnot, and also my getting over a cold isn't helping with any of that stuff, but sorry. But she did recommend this book, which I've been enjoying, is super helpful. So Puppetry 101. And unfortunately, there's a bit of a sad story attached to this. So the author is unfortunately no longer with us, as I found out as I was watching his YouTube videos. I'm not going to get into it, but unfortunately he had a... I was watching his essentially Puppetry 101 video that was super helpful. I'm like, oh, great. And then I went to go watch his next video, and he had a cancer diagnosis. And well, yeah, unfortunately, he's no longer with us. So that sucks. But this is a really good book. I'm excited to get into doing puppet stuff. Again, what that's going to look like, I'm still figuring out, which is fine. But this is a fun book. I've already learned a lot about Muppet-style puppeteering, for lack of a better thing. And you know, I definitely want to incorporate it. It's going to take some different camera stuff, but like I said, I just haven't had enough time and health to put as much time into it as I want to. So we're getting there, one thing at a time. So yeah, check that out. I think I'm gonna call it good for tonight, because my mouth is starting to, yeah, catch up to me as far as wanting to cough a lot and everything. But hopefully by this coming Sunday, I should be able to do a live stream, although I don't know, maybe we're doing some family stuff on Sunday afternoon, and depending on when I get back, yeah, I might instead maybe do Saturday night instead of Sunday night, just so I don't have to like scramble to get home and then do a live stream, because that could very well happen just based on some loose math in my head, that I may or may not get home in time to do that, or at least wouldn't get home in time to like do a really good proper setup and preparation. So maybe I'll aim for Saturday night instead, just to, or Saturday afternoon even, or something, just to shake things up and at least have a good go of it. But thank you for watching. We're going to call it good tonight. As I said, my next event is... Oh, that didn't work. Next event is Lansing Pride on June 28th. So come see me at Lansing Pride. Steph and I are sharing a tent. We'll be there all day. And hopefully we have good weather. And at least no rain. So yeah, I will see you then. Check out the Discord channel, please. Join the Discord community. Check all that out. Join the fun there. I want to do... I have a channel just for well, I mean, they're all for only channel members, I guess, but there's a channel that's called Ask Roy, where you can submit a question and they'll give me something to practice, you know, using him on the stream for and all that. So we're gonna call it good for tonight before I start coughing again. And thank you for watching, and be safe, have fun, and be excellent to each other.